This is my latest build, my fifth e-bike build-up, all using the Bafang BBSO2s and the BBSHDs. I'm not going to waste much time on that part, the motor and the battery part of this build-up, just because there's plenty of videos on the YouTube about how to install a BBSHD and what size battery and all that. But this does have a 17 amp hour Panasonic battery, plus room for a 6 amp mini battery up above the 17 amp, plus room for one or two 11.5 amp batteries in this back carrier. But primarily, I think the main thing of some interest to some people is the Rohloff hub on this. This is a Surly Wednesday steel frame I bought, has a bare frame, and then swapped over a bunch of components off another fat bike to it. It's an XL model, and it's a QR model. And that's sort of kind of not recommended by Rohloff, but I took some steps to make sure that axle never moves. I've got two Surly TuggNutts, which are these stainless steel brackets here that fill that gap in that sliding dropout. And they make it so no way can that axle go forward. And then as far as the axle going backwards, on this side, on the brake side, I've got a marine stainless steel turnbuckle, some aircraft cable. It hooks on that little flanger on the TuggNut, which is for opening beer bottles, believe it or not. That's what Surly says. And the cable obviously keeps that axle from going backwards, so it's totally locked in, and I saved about 500 bucks going with the QR model, which is quick release, versus the TS model, which is thru axle. I'm not sure what the S is for. But anyway, that's my shifter there. For people interested in the Rohloff hub, it gives you a lot of options on where to mount that hub, or the shifter. That's the external shifter. And I used a OEM 2 torque plate, and I got a monkey bone from Cycle Monkey, and that is a 180 monkey bone, so that elevates my brake piston just right. And then it has like a little nub. It's kind of hard to see, but when you start looking at a Rohloff, you'll see what I mean. It engages the OEM 2 torque plate in such a way that it transmits the torque to the bike frame. Pretty simple installation. I do have to do a few extra steps to drop the wheel, but it only takes me about an extra minute or so. I just can't slide the wheel out. I gotta kind of take things apart, but it's just not a big enough issue to worry about. Chrome moly Surly rack, chrome moly handlebars, also from Surly. I like having my display protected. The handlebars act like kind of a crash bar for the display, and I've already inadvertently checked that feature out. Got a full fender on it underneath, so to speak, a mud guard or whatever you want to call it, just some corrugated cardboard I get from different shipping containers, and keeps all the mud off of you. Been riding it in the snow quite a bit, over 4 foot of snow, put a nice hard crust so you don't even sink in. The rest of the bike isn't that exotic. There's no high dollar components. It's a rock shock 100 millimeter travel fork, which is all the Surly can handle. I've got a 4.5 inch actual width Kendo TuggNuts tires on it, and that gives me about a 1/4 inch clearance on the chainstay. I've got a perfectly straight chain line, which is a primary benefit, of course, of a Rohloff. And the other big benefit, of course, is you can go into any gear at any speed. I'll raise the bike up here a little bit. Okay. I'll put it in first gear now. It does have a thumb throttle. That's full full throttle, 8-9 miles an hour. Then I'll go all the way to 14th speed. Try that with the derailleur system. Now, it's saying 41, but you're not going to go 41. It's, I'm not sure, it's been too muddy and snowy here still, but I think the top speed in this is probably going to be about 30, might be 35, but I don't want speed, I want power, I want real slow speed with a lot of torque, so I can climb steep rocky trails, which I have around my property and areas around here. But that's it. Good simple build. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. I am using a Surly chain tensioner just because it came with the hub, which I got from Luna Cycle, also the motor and the battery. If I choose to use the adjusting screws on the tug nut to achieve the proper chain tension, I may experiment with that later, but for now, the roll-off chain tensioner seemed to be the quickest, easiest way to get the chain where I wanted it and how I wanted it. I've got a big set of panniers for it. I can really haul the gear in this thing. It's got really good range. It's a fun ride.